Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, podcast Pete and lifestyle coach. Man, motivation matters podcast. Today is very special. We're going to cover your local impact to global influence, the journey of global demand. Demand is everything. You have too much supply, not enough demand. You either have a hobby or a business that won't be around. And I want you around in 2026 and beyond. So let's go to the first slide. Let me make this a little bigger because I think it will help you understand why it's so important. Okay, here we go. Are you free yet? Making next year your breakout year. Imagine a life with time freedom. Control your schedule. Ooh, that's a beautiful one. I've been able to experience that in the last couple of years. Wealth freedom. Earn without limits. Always working on that. Location freedom. Work from anywhere. With what we do, you could be anywhere in the world and work. Creative freedom. This is a beautiful one. Build what truly excites you. Man, it's like the wind behind your sail. It's so beautiful when you're creating your life as opposed to consuming other people's lives. Health freedom. Thrive physically and mentally. Thrive. Not just exist, but thrive. It's a beautiful one. Mentally, you have to be aware of your energy because you generate energy. Physically, if you're not working on yourself and intentionally, you only have one body. And if you don't take care of it, it's not going to take care of you as you get older. Travel freedom. Explore without restrictions, without limitations. That is that creative curiosity to see places you've never seen before. When you have that, you have your freedoms. Okay, let's get started. Let me take this off and let's put this one on. And here we go. Okay, podcast. Let me go to, yes, right here. Okay, let me make sure I'm on here right. Okay, here we go. Okay, working with it. Thanks for being patient, but it's going to be worth it because at the end, I'm going to invite you to join our community, our school community, where I'm going to give you 2 free courses. One on the 12-session course, $300 course on the high performance habits, clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence. You get those right, you got a bright future. You get those right, you got a thriving business. So let's talk about this right now, the podcast-powered influence funnel. Sometimes I don't like the word funnel because it's been overused, but in this case, it's kind of like a flywheel. This was created in Notebook LM, and I wanted to bring this to our community to show how quickly and efficiently you can focus your content, because it does matter when you're developing, when you're a local, have local impact and you want to be global influence, you have to learn how to create content that matters, content that helps people get wherever they want to get. So whoever you serve, if you can help them, then you have a vibrant business and you can do it online because the world changed. The world is now global. Most people are acting local and they're thinking local, but if you don't start thinking global, you're going to miss the 80% of the people that you don't know yet. Look at it this way. You've got a local sandbox. That's your 140 people that know, like, and trust you. Now, the 80% is the global sandbox. That's the people that don't know you yet, that if you allow them to go on a journey with you, you've created global demand. 140 people in your small local sandbox, over billion people in your global sandbox. And when you allow yourself to put people through a journey to get to know, like, and trust you, the 140 people that you have an impact with locally you can transform to a global demand. And when you have millions of people that are getting to know, like, and trust, you're creating global demand. That's what we're going to talk about. It's a strategic framework for turning expertise into global impact. Let's get going. Simple system to move from local expert to global influence. People often ask me, why do I do a podcast? Well, it's the most incredible way to one, get to know people, time efficient way. I don't have to run around the city doing one-on-ones like B&I does, or lunches and breakfasts and go to events. There's okay to go to events, but if that's your primary way you do it, you'll be left behind, because your time is the most precious thing you have. If you're caught in traffic, and you could be online creating courses, creating podcasts, creating content, you're leveraging your time. You're creating assets. And when you look at what is possible, think of your local in-person events, whether it's a lunch, a breakfast, a one-on-one meeting, a networking meeting. Think of that as an activity. Activities start and they end. But an asset is a seed. It's a drop in the pond. It's a ripple effect on your global influence. A complete system to move from local expert to global influence. The challenge for most experts is not a lack of knowledge, but a lack of a system to scale their message. Podcast-powered influence funnel, or we'll say flywheel, is a cohesive 3-part framework designed to convert expertise, personal stories, podcast, into tangible, scalable influence. It integrates a platform, a modifier, a multiplier, and an engine to create sustainable leadership. So when you look at that podcast, all the things you gain with it, I get to share my guest story with my community. I get to connect them. I get to learn about their story, see how I can help them grow with a better, more efficient way of understanding the global influence opportunity. The multiplier in our case is school. We use school as our multiplier, our community, where we can connect people, where we can teach people, where we can have people of similar interests that want to grow. And everybody has a school community. Everybody. Because everybody has an expertise they want to share with the world. They just don't know how to get there yet. And through a simple system, podcasting, community, and online courses, which is your engine. The engine to your community is your courses, because I have 9 courses. While I'm sleeping, people can be digesting, consuming the knowledge and expertise to move them from A to Z. Now, it's a transformation, and it takes time, because we play the long game. We are not interested in a transactional relationship. We're interested in long-term relationships. The autonomy of influence, a stone in a still pond. Think of your expertise in a single stone thrown into a still pond. The podcast is the stone that makes the initial impact. The community creates the ripple that expands outward, and the courses are the steady current that ensures those ripples eventually touch every shore. Part one, the platform. Podcasting is an act of leadership, not media, not just media, leadership. The funnel, or let's say the flywheel, begins with a podcast because it is the most efficient platform for building authority, compressing the time it takes to establish trust, which is critical, by hosting conversations that matter. You shift from simple creating content to establishing a leadership platform with intention, clarity, and consistency. The foundational shift from thinking in content to thinking in conversation. Scaling influence requires a mental shift. Instead of focusing on relentless content schedule, I got to be everywhere. No, you just have to be somewhere. And somewhere is online. Because if you want to continue to play in the local sandbox, you're looking at 140 people that know, like, and trust. If you can transform into the global sandbox, you have billions of people that can get to know, like, and trust you. You got to create demand if you want a healthy, impactful business, because demand is everything. You always hear supply and demand. If you have unlimited supply and little demand, you have either a hobby or a business that's going to go out of business. If you have high demand and you have intentional supply, not unlimited, but you do the best you can deliver. So everybody talks about you. Everybody shares you. The word of mouth is on steroids because they're getting such incredible value. Because you're not just throwing everything out there. You're intentional about how you deliver your transformation. And when you do that, the demand grows. It continues to grow. Now, I've done 400 or 500 podcasts, created 9 courses, where a lot of people are running around trying to be everywhere, doing B&I meetings. Nothing wrong with B&I, except it's a time. It's going to eat your time where you can't afford to waste time. I went to one and there were 75 people in there. I had to listen to 75 pitches. I had to listen to 75 people talk about something like referrals. I had to listen to 75, and that's done every single week. If you don't value your time, if you don't realize that the world has shifted from local to global, and now you're looking at playing in the global sandbox, where your influence can be global, because anything you do could be transferred to global. That's what we do. We help people to leverage time, which leverages their location freedom. The wealth becomes just from 140 people to the demand of millions, billions. And that's possible with understanding that your global influence is going to set you free. And when you look at traveling freedom, creative freedom, time freedom, wealth freedom, and you look at those freedoms that are possible, and it's possible through personal development, your business won't grow beyond your ability to grow. So that's why you got to always work on yourself. Work on yourself, work on your mindset, work on the way you master what you're doing. The future is bright to those that make that mental shift. So the foundational shift from creating, thinking in content to thinking in conversation. Scaling influence requires a mental shift. Instead of focusing on relentless content schedule, focusing on hosting valuable conversations. This approach builds deep relationships, before focusing on revenue, creating momentum necessary for global reach. Each conversation becomes a strategic asset. Assets create assets. Assets versus activities. I host, you shape the narrative and build authority. As a guest, you're leveraging other people's platforms to expand your reach. So when I introduce your story, you to the community, you shine out so others can shine in. People don't know your story. They don't know who you serve. How can they ever do anything with you? The best kept secret is not a secret. Winning in business is not a best kept secret strategy. It's shining out. Different than what you're seeing in a lot of people want to be an influencer. Yes, that you can make it that way. That's not what we do. We want you to shine out so others can shine in. And collaborating. You build strategic partnerships through shared dialogue. When you get to know people, when we get to work with people, when we get to coach people, we form partnerships, collaboration. And collaboration is very different than competition. Collaboration is working together to both win. So building influence without pressure. Community turns individual expertise into shared experience. We love SCORE, and we're just starting. Thanks to Jim Fuse, who encouraged me to look into the platform. He spoke at my live event, and I called it SCORE, not knowing that it was school. Close, but not close enough. But the reason I say that, I've been involved in 2 communities of SCORE. So Jim leaning on me, talking to me about it, and experiencing it myself, I saw the value of how simple it provides value. So together we're better. Everybody has a community. Everybody can be part of SCORE. And I'm going to invite you to join our free community on SCORE, where you can get not 1, but 2 courses. My signature course on journaling, which has changed entirely my life. I now have 17 full journals, where before my stroke didn't have hardly one. I mean, I had a bunch of scattered ones, but they were not journals that helped me. I was always, when I got in a dark place, I heard, you got to have a gratitude journal. So I would, and I'd do it for a couple, 3-4 days, and it wouldn't snap me out of it. So I'd bag it. But now, every day I journal. Every day, and I'm going to help you to be able to discover yourself, your expertise, your voice, because we have between 12 and 60,000 thoughts that go through our head. And if we don't have a way to put that on paper, get it out, wire our brain, focus, clarity, energy, courage, influence, and being able to be more productive, then we'll be stuck in that local sandbox with 140 people that know, like, and trust. When you're neglecting, when you could be playing in the sandbox, a global sandbox of millions, billions of people, creating demand for you and your services in the millions and billions, people that don't know you yet. And the critical word is yet. So a podcast creates an audience. A community creates momentum. The multiplier effect happens when you actively engage with your listener, make strategic introductions, and build relationships. This turns your message from a broadcast into a network, which reaches a multiplier through the word of mouth and strategic partnerships. Multiply. That ripple effect, that one podcast can be created, and I'll share with you in just a few seconds. Course provides the engine for growth and direction. That's your third part. Courses act as a mechanical engine that drives the entire system. They provide a structural pathway for your audience and ensures your value from your conversation is captured, systematized, and repurposed. Creates a sustainable model for growth and prepares you for high-level expansion, global expansion. 9 courses helping you transform into a global influence, from local impact to global influence. The multiplier. Community turns individual expertise into shared experience. A podcast creates an audience. A community creates, oops, did I go the wrong way? I think I did. Yes, I did. Okay. Nothing is wasted. Principle in action. A single podcast conversation is never a one-off event, like an activity. When you go to a live event, that's a one-off event. But an asset is never wasted. The engine that designs to repurpose every conversation into a variety of structured leadership assets. Compounding effects assures maximum return for your time and effort. There's nothing wrong with meeting people for breakfast, for lunch, and going to a meeting. But if that's your primary way that you're growing your business, your competitor will fly by you like you're standing still. Because somebody that understands the global influence, understands assets versus activities, understands podcasting, what it really means for your leadership. If they understand it and you don't, they're going to fly by you like AI is flying by a lot of people. So you can create a podcast conversation, articles and blog posts, digital and physical magazine, educational modules, social media content, and future course material. A single conversation compounds in various other leadership assets. Oops, there we go. Complete podcast, the power leadership engine. Podcast, the platform. Initial impact and trust building. Compresses trust because I can do in a 3-hour B&I activity, I can do 30 podcasts and create a course or a video in the same amount of time as somebody's driving and listening to the same thing over and over and over again. When your assets are created, they multiply over and over and over again. Real estate's an asset. Your house is an asset. A book's an asset. A workshop's an asset. A video's an asset. A podcast is an asset. These are assets that grow, and growing is what you want. Strategically growing, because your global influence opportunity, playing in that global sandbox, is the opportunity for you. Community, just think of the community as your multiplier. Expand and relationship compounding, multiple reach. Courses, that's the engine, the structure and the monetization. Every one of our courses can be monetized. We give you a $300 course. We give you a $97 journaling course once you join the community, which is free. So we add such massive value to our people. And then they say, wow, look what I got for free. What's on the other end of paid? Because when you pay attention. When you pay attention. Plenty of free information out there. And you want to have that focused on what you want to improve on. But when you're accountable to a coach, when you're paying, you go to the next level. So there's plenty of free stuff out there, but take it the way it should be taken to gain some expertise in a specific way. Let's see if I can go on here. Okay. So the results, a springboard of higher level influence. Once the engine is running, it becomes a powerful platform for strategic expansion. The authority, the community, the assets you've built serve as a launching pad for opportunity for creating global impact. So when you look at, when we do live events, those are our signature talks. You start getting better at your signature talks. You start putting yourself in a position to do keynotes. You have high impact workshops, which this is a part of. Strategic podcast partnerships. And when we say strategic, we have key strategic partner course. Instead of just inviting people, inviting strategic partners who will bring you hundreds, even thousands of demand and leads. So you're inviting people to introduce them to your community, show how you can create value. You're building trust, you're learning their story, and you're involving them in a community that will help them multiply their expertise, their community. Everybody wins. Collaboration, everybody wins. Global coaching, I'm a high performance coach. And in our case, Brendan Bouchard is the person that coached me, certified me, has the largest personal development community in the world. Over 300,000 people. And if you go to pkane.me/growth day, you can try it for 7 days. Try personal growth for 7 days. Be coached by Brendan Bouchard for 7 days. Have access to the challenges, access to high performance habits, and see what it can make a difference in your mental and your mindset, the way you're growing, the way you're learning, and be a part of the best, biggest, and most powerful personal development community in the world. And then you have the last is premium mindset. I'm trying to think of the person that says you are who you hang around with. A lot of people may have said it, but if you are always leveling up your relationships and you're around people that get you to stretch, to grow, to challenge, you will grow. You will level up. And if you always hang around people that pull you down, well, you'll be pulled down. But if you hang around people and you associate with people that pull you up, called a mastermind, you will level up in everything you do. Okay, let me see if I can. Your expertise is a stone. This funnel or this flywheel transforms the entire pond. A podcast-powered influence funnel is more than a marketing strategy. It's leadership philosophy. It provides a deliberate, elegant, and scalable path to ensure your expertise doesn't just make a splash. It creates a current that changes the shape of the water. So you want to expand? You want to shine out so people can shine in and discover how you can transform their lives? Let's go to, here we go. We're going to go to, okay. So that QR code, if you could go to that QR code, you can get access, and I'm going to put it up on the screen. Nope, here it is. Okay. Go to pkane.me/score, SKOOL. Okay. When you do that, you're going to have access to High Performance Habits, a 12-session course. It's a $300 course. We'll focus on clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence. And then we're going to get into the mastery of physiology, psychology, persuasion, purpose, productivity mastery. Personal development will change you and will change your world. You'll go from a local impact to a global influence because you will not grow as far as you can grow personally. Your business won't grow and you can't stay the same. That's why personal development is so critical to the impact that you're going to make on the world, the impact you're going to make being a global influence. The opportunity is there. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about your future. Scan this QR code. Go to the QR code up in the upper left-hand corner. Boop, 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 right there. And understand, are you free yet? Make next year your breakout year. Imagine a life with time freedom, wealth freedom, location freedom, creative freedom, health freedom, and travel freedom. Total freedom. A beautiful thing. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. Your step? Join our community. Get access to our 2 free courses. Learn how others can help. Collaboration. Inside the community, you have a community. Everybody has a community to change the world. Because be bold, make an impact, and have fun. The world is